Hi everybody. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Daul Kim. I think Daul Kim is relevant to today because mental health is a huge thing right now. Even though modeling can be so glamorous and so beautiful and so much fun and traveling around the world and going to 4 huge fashion capitals, and that's cool, but we also should talk about what it takes to get all that done. She was one of the models that came up in the 2000s. Daul was able to carve out this lane of what we see a lot now of models expressing themselves, being able to document their lives, and I don't want her to be forgotten, put it that way. So she was born in Seoul, South Korea. She was raised in Malaysia, and she went to school in Singapore. Many people don't realize how integral and how formative your childhood years are, especially to your adulthood and how you see things, especially when you get older. I'm learning that. Therapy. She was smart, creative, artsy. She expressed very much so how her upbringing in Singapore was not the best. Ironically, she goes into an industry that is also a place for outsiders, but at the same time, very much gatekeeping. All right, so let's bring some light into the room. At 13, she was discovered by Avenue, which is a modeling agency in Singapore. And she gave that a go, eventually quitting school at 15, realizing that that wasn't for her at all. And she did so to actually focus on her modeling career. People couldn't pay me to go back to high school. Like, high school was really shitty. I didn't fit in. The other girls were really bitchy. Something out of Mean Girls. She moved back to Korea with an unstable modeling career, no real qualifications, and she realized she learned a lot about herself at that time. That at 15 is a lot. I mean, I'm doing that now, and I'm grown, so I can only imagine. Her parents didn't approve either, which I think is pretty common with models. They think it's very, like, frivolous. They're right in a way. That sounds crazy. Like, follow your dreams, do what the fuck you want to do. Like, it's your life. But it is also very unstable. Funny enough, she did a lot of big work at the beginning. She was doing Korean Vogue very early in her career. In 2007, she debuted at Martin Margiela. Maison Martin Margiela. In her first year, she was already setting the bar really high, which I think is good and bad, because think about it, what, 17 now? 16, 17? Now you're traveling, you're all over the world. 16, 17, you were like on planes every other day. Hotel rooms, mopeds. Chanel is one of the clients that has to come to a model, or comes to a model versus being sent girls. It's very much a blue chip. And why I think that was easy for her, why I think it was easy for her at the beginning, is because she already had a personality. The girls that have personality, a sense of humor, they stand out. And I always find that very amazing, that sometimes you're looking at, like, you look at some of these girls and you're like, oh, she's so cool, like, she's so, like, this and that, and then you realize, like, she's only 19, 20, you know? So, like, they're really pushed into this very fast. She was Karl Lagerfeld's muse, and he made her the face of the Cocoon Bag campaign. It was a viral campaign. Now, we see so many campaigns online now, right? Because clearly that is our media, and that is our mode of, or the mode of disseminating any sort of information. Anything we get is usually through digital, social media. People weren't doing digital campaigns back then. A huge part of history, by being one of the first to be part of a viral campaign that way. She again is at the forefront of something amazing, models off duty. I love to see what they're wearing in the street. I love to see how they style the pieces that they get. Daul was, am I saying her name right? Let me know if I'm saying her name right. Is it Daul or Daul? Daul. I think it's Daul. Daul was part of the social media movement. You have to remember, it was just the beginning of, like, social media and the birth of Instagram. They didn't have influencers, clearly. I don't think she realized that she was ahead of her time. And I do think that's a huge part of her legacy. I remember reading an article in ID magazine. And she said that she was given a pair of pants from a homeless man. She took those pants, got them dry cleaned, styled them with, I think it was Jill Sanders sandals or a top, I'm not sure. and an indelible piece as well, and gave the interview to that magazine wearing the pair of pants that she was given. It was Jill Sanders sandals and indelible cardigan. I would pay to see that outfit. She shot for ID, Dazed, covered Korean Vogue. Mind you, she covered all those in her first year. She was also very much unafraid to get a shot, meaning she would go topless to get a shot, and in a way that would come back to haunt her a little bit. And it leads me into the topic of Korean celebrity and what she was dealing with at the time. So, as you probably know, Korean culture is huge, right? We have fandoms, girl groups, boy groups. You'll see a lot of stories in Korean news circuits, idols and celebrities struggling with mental health because there's so much scrutiny on what they do. Like, imagine like every day you get up and it's like, what do you do when you want to go to the store? Where was I about to go with that? No. Imagine as she ascended, as she got bigger, the more alone she felt. What it is that makes people lonely when, well, I mean, I think I get it. It's like there's more people in your corner that want something from you versus that really care about you. Especially in the modeling industry, they work these girls, especially when they're in demand.
재혼의 스케줄. 그러니까 원래 어저께 밤에는 요만큼만 보내줬는데요. 전화 오면서 다 늘어난 거예요.
I've been working too hard. Right now, I have a tiny apartment in Paris with just a pretty rice cooker. I'm happy I can buy fresh fruits from the local grocer. I think that quote also shows that how lonely she was, paints a picture of her being essentially by herself, you know, and how she was just making do. Depression is very isolating, and I'm speaking from personal experience. It is not something that is like, I'm just so sad, because sometimes you're just floating through, you know? It's not something that you're like focused on, but like you're just like, nothing ever feels like there's it doesn't feel like there's more to it, you know? Like when you're like walking home, you're not thinking that there's more neighborhood around you. It's just, I gotta go back home to like where I'm at. Nothing else matters. Like the beautiful things around you, you're not really seeing them. It just feels like just you, just your voice, just your thoughts, and it can be scary. Daul was most known for her blog. It was called I Like to Fork Myself. Clearly, you're like, why call it I Like to Fork Myself? She was obsessed with forks. She went by Daul Monster. When you read it in real time, you're watching people see that she was troubled. The way she liked to express herself was through art. A lot of her paintings and poems were listed on her blog. She had an affinity for like Japanese, like B-list films, gangster movies, female gangster movies. She was intrigued by Japanese gore. Hear me out. I feel like when people look at movies like gore and things like that, there is a beauty in sometimes how it's filmed, written. I think that is always so intriguing because I'm not one of those people. Like I don't understand it. She saw herself being a film director in the future, which I would have loved to see. Minds like hers do amazing things. For a lot of publications, New York Magazine, she's done a lot of online model diaries.
That's funny, what is it?
It's like a video camera. I'm doing something for New York Magazine.
Ah, okay.
I have to shoot like what I'm doing for Fashion Week every day with this video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's my camera crew today. They're from KBS, and it's about me modeling in New York. Oh, interesting, yeah. Yeah. So say hi. Hi Siri.
Hello.
Hi Ali.
Hi.
Hi Ali's mom.
Hello.
Wow. I have so many friends.
Just video.
We finished the casting together, and then we are sharing
to
a
next
cab to the next one. Yay! Share taxi. Yeah. I'm backstage now as well, and finished my makeup and hair. A very busy morning. I like your cut too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Today on Vogue, you'll see model diaries.
Oh my god. So there's a piece of tape in my hair that I have from a leftover hair extension yesterday.
They were able to film backstage, which I love. I can't explain to you how much I love behind the scenes backstage fashion shit. Oh my gosh. Like, I would pay to see all that stuff. The girls lining up, like the exits, like all that stuff, like the board. Again, you're seeing that today, which means she was ahead of the game. At the height of her career, she became withdrawn. A lot of people said that she was sleeping a lot. She was hard to reach by both her agents and her family and friends. But what was also clear is that whatever she was going through and what was getting too much for her to bear was already there. Depression comes in waves, and it's too much sometimes. My life as Daul was so sad and lonely. Join me in my solitude in another world. Later on, she added, kidding, I'm fine, just tired. The relationship that she was in was abusive, but people sometimes are so blinded, especially with, imagine whatever else she was going through, tack that on. On November 18th, she wrote, say hi to forever, with the song I Go Deep attached. The next morning, she messaged a friend and she said that she was struggling and that she had a fight with her boyfriend. She punched him, he pulled her hair, and the friend was urging Daul to get away from that situation. Told her, come home to Seoul, like, you'll be taken care of, you just have to come back to people that love you. But Daul refused. She was like, I'm just gonna clean. Later on that day, Daul's boyfriend returned to the apartment to find her gone. The loss of Daul was huge. Everyone was talking about it. Every forum was talking about it. She was the 9th Korean celebrity to lose their life to suicide in 2009. Many felt as if her career was one of the reasons why she unalived herself. Depression is not a one-size-fits-all. I know there will be people watching this video that are dealing with what I'm dealing with, what Daul dealt with. You don't have to do it by yourself. I know what it feels like to wake up and not want to. Get off work and not want to go home. It's easy to lose the plot, especially when the world can feel the way it does. I hope more people see their peace as a gift. I really do.